All right, so the first one we're going to talk about is going to be multiply. Basically, easiest way to get to it is you're going to see next to the checkbox, next to the little layer tab, there's going to be a little N. You're going to tap that. Um, anyway, you're going to select multiply, and then you can use any color, but I like using a light color because you're going to see really quickly that the effect is pretty strong. So as you'll see, like that really light color shows up really dark on the outside because it's showing up against this dark gray, but over the sphere itself, it tints it a decent amount. Around this color one, just so you can see, multiply will affect the color of what's underneath it, and you can use that to your advantage. Let's go down to overlay now. So same thing, same place to find it. You're gonna, if you start at normal, overlay is gonna be a couple of down here. So what overlay does is it kind of works like multiply in reverse. It will add light to your piece. It can bring something up to white if you put in a strong enough color, but you'll see it doesn't really affect the dark parts of it. So why do I use this? I use this for a lot of lighting, and usually I'll use like a really, really, really light color. And if I'm doing like a sunlight or something, I'm going to use a yellow or something warm. You can pick any color you want, but again, I find it works best with really light colors, these modes, because their effects, as you can see right now, are really, really, really drastic. Yeah. So you can really play around with this stuff and make some really cool effects, again, without having to sacrifice like messing up the piece that's underneath it. You can get all of the hard stuff done, like figuring out form and proportion uh, in your black and gray layer, and then you can start doing things like adding color when you get these new layers. So everything, and it also gives you the ability to change things too, which we're going to talk about when we go into our next one, which is going to be the color layer. So color is all the way down at the bottom. You can see it down there. I've already got it selected and set up. Now what color does is it takes whatever color you're using, and it basically just tints what's underneath it that color. So I got this really intense blue, and as you can see, you're basically just turning it into a monochromatic version of whatever you're coloring on top of it. It keeps all of the values intact underneath it, which is why I really like it, because it's just a really good way to get your colors figured out before you have to actually commit to anything. So you can see when I go over this grass, boom, all of a sudden, like that grass is almost finished. In fact, that's how I painted this grass in the beginning, is I got it to black and gray like this, just sketching with a brush, just basically just drawing it, and made a new color layer over the top of it, brushed that in, and you can do more than one color. And then generally that's what I'll do, is I'll take like the local color of something, and then I'll add like maybe an exaggerated bit of light just to give it like a cool gradient to go over the top of it. Then I'll end up making another layer on top of that and then just painting my highlights.